Castleton. For our attendees, please use your raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and your affiliation. Our first question is from Edgar Thompson. Your line is now open.
Yeah, hey, Colin. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you were talking before the SEC tournament about having to pick it up on the rebounding front. What was the difference for you today, and just how like determined was your effort all through the day? I mean, you were relentless pretty much.
I mean, I knew the past couple of games I wasn't really rebounding to my standard. You know, just talk about it, and I know what I got to bring every day. And if I don't, then it doesn't look good on myself and the team. So I realized that I had to do better on the rebounding part. And that just comes with aggressiveness, playing at a high motor, and just wanting it more than the other team. So being able to just realize that and get that mindset back going, you know, it's win or go home right now. So you got to leave it all on the line.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Declan. Declan, your line is now open.
Hi, Colin. Just one question. So you guys stopped double teaming Aluma as much in the first half, but you managed to hold him to 7 points. The guys leads them in scoring, rebounding throughout the year. What was kind of the biggest key in stopping him from getting a lot of points?
We did a good job collectively. We knew Aluma was a really good player. He's skilled in the post. He's got a lot of different moves, and he can stretch the floor out a little bit. So we knew coming into the game that was a big key, you know, to stopping him, neutralizing him, and I feel like we did a good job as a unit. And I feel like I was able to use my length at the rim to affect a couple of his shots and just get him out of rhythm a little bit. But as a team, we did a great job, and you know, we went over the scouting report many times.
Thank you. The next question comes from John Romano of the Tampa Bay Times. John, your line is open.
Hey, Colin, could you just talk about the tenacity that it took to win that game? You guys had players going down with injuries. You lost players to fouls. You were behind for like 30 minutes, a 130-minute stretch. Just what did it feel like throughout that game?
Just we weren't losing the game. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You got to have a mindset of just, we're not losing this game. We don't want to go back to Florida just yet. You just got to keep pushing, keep fighting. This is what practicing, you know, the preseason conditioning, all that stuff, you got to just fight through it. And it's what we prepare for. You know, it's March Madness, and everybody's got to be ready. Niles came in. He played great on defense. You know, they tried to go at him, and you got to stop. And that's big for us, having, you know, guys come in and be confident. That's huge, especially in tournaments like this, because you never know what's going to happen. Tyree went down, 2 guys fouled out, but, you know, we stayed resilient and we pushed through it. So.
Thank you. The next question is from Mike Bianchi. Mike, your line is open.
Yeah, Colin, congratulations. Along that same sort of line, what does it mean for this team to all you've gutted through this season, all you've endured to come out and win a game like this in overtime?
It just shows who we are as a team, our character. You know, we've went through a lot of other stuff off the court. And in this game today, we went through a lot of stuff on the court, whether that's, you know, missed free throws, turnovers. I had to stop a turnover at the end of the game. Just fighting through adversity. That's been our motto the whole year. Coach White, he's done a tremendous job preaching it to us, and we've all had a good mindset. You know, there's obviously days where you might get down about certain things and worry about stuff that we shouldn't worry about. But, you know, at the end of the day, we just try to push through it as best as possible. And that's credit to the coaches. They preach it to us every day, and they instill that in us that, you know, whatever happens, you got to fight through adversity, because not just in basketball, this is going to happen our whole life. So being able to push through that is going to teach us a lot of great lessons.
Thank you. Our next question is from Maddie from ESPN. Maddie, I believe you're still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Colin, you hit a huge pair of free throws to give the Gators their first lead with under 5 to go. You and Trey both stepped up today. How are you going to keep that going heading into the next round?
Just being consistent, like I said with the other questions, just mindset, knowing that it's win or go home, just giving it your all, and just being confident in myself. That's what I've done this whole year. I've been through stretches where I haven't been as confident as I needed to be, but I'm able to bounce back and just continue to be confident. And Trey brings it every game. He's been playing tremendously, so we just got to get that out of everybody, and just not me or him. Just everybody's got to play confident, be ready when your name gets called, and just stay poised.
Thank you. The next question is from Gene Fernetti. Your line is now open.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Colin, with about 9 minutes to go in that game, you went up for a dunk and you sort of lost the ball just a little bit, but the ball still went in the basket. When you have a play that happens like that, how much of a lift can that be? Because let's face it, in games like this, it's the bounce of a ball, something you got to get lucky every once in a while. I'm just wondering how you felt when you lost that ball, but yet it still went in.
Yeah, it kind of just slipped. I probably should have went up with two hands, but I didn't. And I know Coach is going to say something about that. He's going to get on me about that because that's something he tells me every day. Grab the ball with two hands, be strong with it. But I guess I just got lucky there and it went in. But in future games, I can't do that because it might not go in like it did today. So just got to grab the ball with two hands and just flush it.
Our next question comes from Raphael Haynes.
Hey, Colin, Raphael from the three-point conversion. Colin, after they came back and tied the game to make it go into overtime, was there a message that Coach gave you or any of the players came up with during that time, going into overtime?
Mm-hmm. As soon as we got to the timeout, a lot of our heads were down because, we wanted to close the game out there in the end of regulation, but we didn't. And all the coaches were just preaching, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. Do not let that, bring you down or let you lose energy. We got to come out of this timeout like it's immediate timeout. We got 5 minutes overtime. Just push through this wall. Everybody keep being aggressive and let's just go out there like we did in the second half. Just come out strong and do what we do. So they were just preaching positivity, keep your head up, and let's push through this because we are going to win this game.
Thanks, Colin. The last question is from Andre Monroe. Your line is open.
Yeah, Colin, you talked about confidence, but what gives you the confidence to knock down several key shots like you did in the second half?
I think it's just really just personally, having a good circle that believes in me every day. And if I have a bad game, I talk to the right people and they help build me up. Not listening to anybody who's bringing negativity in my basketball world or saying the stuff that I don't need to hear. Just being able to just, give me the right feedback, constructive criticism every game. And I'm hard on myself. So if we lose a game and I don't play well, I'm fine with blaming that on myself and realizing, I got to step up and do better to help this team win. But just being able to just be positive and, pushing through adversity because it's going to happen my whole basketball career and life. So being able to build your own confidence is a key thing to have.
Colin, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations.
Appreciate
Best
it,
of
guys.
luck the rest of the tournament. Thank you. I'm going to now lower all the hands of our attendees, and Coach White will be here shortly. So if you want to ask a question, again, please raise your hand using the function online. Coach. Welcome. As a reminder, please use the raise hand function when you'd like to ask a question. We'll get to those questions after Coach White's opening comments. Coach?
Great win for us. Made it a little bit more interesting than we needed to, of course. Showed tremendous resilience to bounce back and find a way to win in overtime after giving up that lead there in the last minute. Without our point guard, Tyree Appleby, or obviously one of our 2 point guards. Albeit, Trey and Tyree play together, kind of interchangeable, of course. Without Omar Payne, of course, this team just continues to show character. No one's been through what they've been through. Really proud of our guys. Virginia Tech's absolutely terrific. They had a great year. It's whether it was a non-conference game, an MTE, the NCAA tournament, whatever, it would have been a big win to beat those guys. Obviously, a little bit more special in this setting. Glad my guys are here, having a chance to experience this. Thought we were great down the stretch. Second half, defended at a high level, really outside of turning the ball over offensively. I thought we were really good, and again, proud of the overcoming of adversity as these guys continue to show.
Thanks, Coach. It looks like our first question is from Edgar Thompson from the Orlando Sentinel. Your line is open.
Yeah, hey, Mike.
Edgar.
Nice win there. Collins' performance, Denver tweeted something a minute ago. I mean, my God, it's like the list of guys who've done what he did today is short and includes some amazing names. Can you just discuss what you saw from him, the effort and determination for him to kind of help carry you guys when you needed it?
Colin was terrific. 6 of 8. I mean, he's just so efficient. 14 rebounds. He logged so many minutes. We tried some other guys. We had foul trouble, of course, with a couple front court guys. Omar wasn't there. And if Colin doesn't step up like he does, obviously we're going home. He's very talented. I thought he showed more toughness, physical toughness today down the stretch. He's, for the first time in his defense, he's become more of a focal point with other teams' scouting reports. We have some of the best defenses in the country in the SEC, which again is the 3rd-ranked conference in the country, the best it's ever been. And down the stretch, I just thought that he was getting beat up a little bit. I didn't think we did a great job getting him the ball. I didn't think he was playing great either. It's all of us. I've got to do a better job with him, trying to get him going. Today he got going. His teammates were really good with some interior passing. I thought that he had a couple offensive rebounds too that helped him. And then once he got his mojo going a little bit, from that point on, I saw a different player than we've seen the last couple weeks.
Our next question comes from Mike Bianchi from the Orlando Sentinel. Mike, your line is open.
Coach, congratulations. How difficult was it to sit Omar Payne during such an important game? What did you tell him? And was this one of those teaching moments?
Yeah, definitely a teaching moment, Mike. It's just, it wasn't overly difficult. We just, it's difficult that he can't play, obviously, but it was the right thing to do. That's it. Omar handled it like a champ. Omar's very remorseful. We all make mistakes. He's a great young man, and we were able to overcome, fortunately, without him, who I thought could have obviously helped us in a lot of ways today.
Next question comes from David Whitley. David, your line is now open. David, I think you're on mute.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
What is the Omar status for the next game and the rest of the tournament? And is there any sort of agreement with Tennessee that he will sit out as long?
I can't hear. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wondering about Omar Payne and what his status is for the rest of the tournament.
Oh, I got you. We hadn't got there yet. Just as we didn't talk about it, it's an in-house situation leading into this game. I'm not going to talk about it leading into the next one.
All right. Well, can I follow up? Is there any agreement with Tennessee that he will sit out as long as Fulkerson is out?
No.
Okay.
Our next question comes from Jean Frenetti. Your line is now open.
Mike, can you hear me?
Hey, Gene.
Hey, after the Tennessee game in the SEC, you talked about how this team weren't sure they had the emotional maturity on the court, not off the court, but on the court. Well, then you turn around and look at this game today. Omar's out. You lose Appleby, and you lost him for a long, long stretch of time. You're trailing for about 30 minutes of the game. Would you say that today that they did have the emotional maturity on the court?
Gene, I thought we took a step in the right direction, but I would consider that more mental toughness and resiliency. There's still some immature moments. Too much celebration early. I thought we got a little bit tired. 5-10 minutes into the game, we made some big plays early, and we were so juiced up. And despite the fact that for the last 48 hours we talk about how in the NCAA tournament, when it's do or die, any high-level games, obviously, but especially the NCAA tournament, we cannot be emotional. We got to play with emotions. We make a big play. Let's celebrate the play. Let's have some poise. Let's move on. We have to move on to the next play. There are 1,000 plays in a basketball game. And I thought we got really emotional early on, a little bit too hyped up. I thought it made us a little bit tired, led to some poor decisions defensively. And then even late second half, I see smiles on faces as we should be in a huddle talking about what we should be doing the next play. And did we take a step? Yes, for sure. But this team, like all teams, need to learn how to continue to be more consistent with their focus, with their poise, with their controlling of emotions. And obviously that'll help us moving forward.
Our next question comes from Andre Monroe. Andre, your line is open. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations on the win. It was a long and hard-fought game, so I just want to know how you're feeling after this win.
Andre, I'm tired. Just being honest, I'm tired. I'm ready for a little post-game meal. I'm ready to go hang out with our guys a little bit and start talking about the next opponent. It'll be probably here in the next couple hours where we'll sit down and watch personnel for the first time, dive into it with our staff. But we all need to hydrate and find a way to get a lot of work done here in the next few hours, especially our guys. It really doesn't matter how I feel and how our staff feels. Our guys need to hydrate, and we need to sleep.
Two more questions, Coach. Raphael Haynes, your mic is open.
Hey, Coach, Raphael from the three-point conversion. Coach, two-part question. First, you talked about Appleby being out. Can you talk about his status right now, and have you heard anything? And then also with the team coming back in the second half, what did you think started that run for you all?
I think defensively we stepped up, Raphael, and got some stops, which allowed us to spread a little bit of a lead there mid-second half. I just thought we were more sharp defensively in the second half. Our press backfired on us a little bit less during the second half. We didn't get just great production from the bench, but I do think we got good minutes from the bench outside of Scotty Lewis, who I thought was really, really good, one of his better games all year. And I think that had a little bit of a cumulative effect, maybe a wearing down effect. Hopefully, I like to think that. That was the game plan coming in, where, our press, I think, didn't backfire on us. Transition defense was a little bit better. We were just a little bit sharper, where we got a few consecutive stops there, or rather consecutive stops a few different times there mid-second half. When you're getting stops, sometimes it flows into positive things for you offensively and vice versa. First question with Tyree, I don't know. He's with our medical people right now. I haven't been told anything.
Last question is from Mike DeCourcy. Mike, your line is open. You need to unmute yourself, Mike.
I'm sorry. Yes, Mike, I just wanted to ask, in having to play around without Omar. When you got to the end and you had your second powered forward foul out, what is your thought about how to cope with that situation since you can't reach for him?
Right. The quick decision with myself and the two available assistant coaches, because Coach Nichols is in quarantine himself. He's been hanging out in a hotel room for a couple weeks. I don't know whether he's in Nashville or Indy right now. Was which freshman wing do we put in there? And we tried both Sampson and Niles throughout the game, and they both gave us some positivity. And Niles down the stretch, in these guys' defense, these freshmen, it's NCAA tournament. He hasn't played much down the stretch of the season, let alone on this stage. And at that point, it's like, hey, let's let's mix in with the other guys and let's not make mistakes. And you wouldn't have known it probably if if you were a lay person just watching it on TV, because he helped us a little bit down the stretch.
Coach, that's it. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thank